Hello, welcome back. In one of the previous segments, we talked about comparing a character type with a short type. More generally, one type is smaller than the other type in terms of the number of bits. We discussed the fact that sign bit will be extended. For example, if you compare here in this place, B less than S, right? B is of type byte. Byte is I defined as a type def char, and S is a sign type. So they are two different types of different lengths. We discussed in one of the previous segments that B will be converted into S type by doing a byte extension. The signed bit will be extended. Okay, we talked about that. However, in this demo, I'm going to check whether we can get into an infinite loop or not. Okay, can we ever get out of this for loop? For some, yes. Okay, which is of course greater than the size of B. So this program won't compile because I've not even passed the argument to the foo. That's something we need to figure out. What is the value of yes we should pass so that we get into an infinite loop? Okay. Remember, we discussed about this earlier. We can compare one small type with a large type. That's not a problem. But this for loop has a byte B and a B++. Okay. That means this computation, right? B++ computation, it's only based on the byte type. It has nothing to do with the type of yes, because B is declared to be byte here. What are the possible values a byte take in C? This is a signed type, right? I declared char. Char by default is a signed char. That means the possible values byte B can take. What are the possible values B can take? From minus 128 to 127, right? All the way to 127. That's the range for a byte type, especially signed byte type. Okay, what is the reason for minus 128? Because the most significant bit will be turned on, and then you'll have 7 zeros and so on, 7 zeros. If you convert this into base 10 from base 2, you get a minus 128 because this is minus 128. This particular bit contributes to negative weight, the most significant bit, minus 2 power 7. Okay. And why do I have 127 as the maximum? It's similar to this reasoning. You'll have 0 followed by 7 ones. And if you convert this into base 10, you get 127. Okay. So that means in order to stuck in the loop, right, this B less than S must be always true, otherwise you will get out of the loop. So we can choose an S which is just a little bit bigger than whatever B can handle to demonstrate the presence of infinite loop. Okay. So let me plug in here at this point, say 128 plus 128, which is outside the range of whatever we can represent in a byte. So S is 128. Let's see what happens if S is 128, whether the program will terminate or it will stuck in a loop. Let's do that. Yeah, you see, it's stuck in the loop. It's not going to terminate. Usually it takes a few milliseconds to terminate if this loop is running properly for a byte type only, right? It's such a small list of possible numbers. So the program got stuck. So let's reason about why 128 is allowing the program to get into infinite loop. Yes, it's 128 here. What are the possible values B can take? B can take possible values from minus 128 to plus 127. So all of these values, right, whatever values B is taking is definitely less than 128. Therefore, the loop is never terminating. Okay. So this is a subtle behavior. If you have a loop index, which is a smaller type than the type that you are using to terminate the loop, there's a possibility that the program can get into an infinite loop. And here's one example. Okay. You can also do one more experiment, change the type def char to type def unsigned char. Let us do that. It's done now because the story is slightly different. For the unsigned char, your B will run from 0 through 255. Naturally, S is only 128. But if I put S to be 256, now you're stuck in the loop. We need to be cognizant of the fact that even though compiler will not give you a compiler warning when you compare B less than S, B is byte, S is short, you can easily generalize this to other types also. It can be an int, S can be a long, you'll have the same problem. Implicitly, this is converted into B is promoted into higher type, which is short type using a signed bit extension. So the comparison works perfectly fine. But this problem is this B++, it's based on the byte type. So it's never going to get a value outside the range of what a byte can allow. Okay, that is the reason why you get an infinite loop. All right, that's all. Thank you very much.